Hi, welcome everyone. In this video, we are going to look at which is more practical demonstration of what we call AWS Load Balancer. Okay, this service does not work in isolation, so to that end, we'll be leveraging on other resources and services like EC2 instance. Okay, so we are going to launch AWS EC2 instance from what we call launch template. Again, we will be using what we call target group. So target group is like a logical grouping of our instance. Okay, again, when we're done, we're gonna leverage on what we call Route 53 to host our record. Okay, so in a nutshell, these are the services and the resources that we're going to touch on, but the main focus is on creation of AWS application load balancer. So let's go into this. Right, so I'm already in my AWS management console under what we call Elastic Cloud Compute. So what I'm looking for is to create EC2 instance. Okay, but for me to automate this, I would like to create what we call a launch template. Again, if you have watched my previous video, I've done a separate video on launch template. Launch template is just a blueprint. Okay, just like a configuration file that we can reuse again and again and again. Okay, so anytime you want to create an EC2 instance, you have two options. First option is to just use what we call instant launch, or you have an option of using what we call a launch template. Right, so we will leverage on launch template. So let's look for launch template here. Okay, create launch template, and then let's give it a name. Okay, let's call it dev temp, for example. Yeah, right, you can give it a version. Okay, let's keep that. It will automatically version it for you. We are not using auto scaling. Again, I've done a separate video about launch template alongside auto scaling. Okay, we are not doing that. Let's keep that all the way to the launch template content. So the OS that we are going to pick. So let's go for the quick start and pick what we call a Linux operating system with the flavor of Ubuntu. Okay, let's pick that. Remember, this is our blueprint. Okay, going down, we pick our AMI. Okay, the instant type is how powerful do you want this. Okay, so the more heavier you pick, okay, the more you pay. For this one, let's pick a small one like T2 micro. Select that. Key pair. Again, I'm not going to SSH into this instance. If I'm going to do it, I'll probably leverage on what we call the session manager, but this one we are not going to use in the key pair, so let's leave it the way it is. Okay, we're not selecting anything, leave the way it is. Okay, for network settings, okay, this is where we have our subnet as availability zone, security group, which is our firewall. But in this case, okay, we will leave the subnet and the availability zones. When we are actually picking up our EC2 instance, we can, pick our availability zone and subnet. Okay, with security group or a firewall, we can set it up. Okay, so let's create our security group. Let's give it a name. Okay, you create security group. If you have one already existing, you can pick it up, but let's create one. Okay, and let's give it a dev. Okay, hyphen sg. Yeah, so the development team security group for this long template. Happy days. Again, remember to describe your template or your security group. Okay, so let's give it a name or describe it. You can add more if you want. Okay, just to describe what the security group is about. I am happy to say it's dev sg. VPC, again, if you have your own VPC, you can use it. In this case, let's use a default VPC. I will do a video purely on AWS networking, and it will focus on what we call virtual private. Okay, AWS virtual private. Okay, so let's move on to the inbound for the security group. Okay, so we can add an inbound route. Okay, from our type of the let's pick which one are we going to use? Okay, let's go for HTTP. Again, I will install what we call Apache on this server, okay, and it's going to listen on port 80. So HTTP, we're happy with that, and the protocol will be TCP. The port we're going to pick port 80. So HTTP, the port it listens on is 80. I will do a separate video explaining protocols, networking, and other things. Okay, so the source, okay, where do you want the source to come from? For now it's just learning purposes, so let's pick everyone. Again, this is our web server, we want the public to access it, so let's open it up for the rest of the world. Okay, everywhere. Okay, keep going down, keep going down, we're happy with that. Okay, again, let's open our network configuration. Let's leave the way it is. Storage, let's leave the way it is. Keep scrolling down, and then advanced details, let's open that. Again, we are not adding instant profile. Okay, any IAM role, we are not attaching any policy to this or IAM role to this instance template. Let's skip that, leave the rest, and go all the way to user data. Okay, on here I'm going to pick a script, okay, and paste it here. I can share the script on in the YouTube link. Okay, you'll be able to copy it and also reuse it. Okay, what is it going to do? So when the instance is coming up, okay, it will run the script, okay, and install any software that I'm going to put in here. So this one, let's share it here. That one, okay, it's just going to do sudo apt update, and it's going to install Apache 2. It's going to start it up, it's going to enable it on the boot. Okay, and what it's going to do is it's going to echo welcome, and this will show, okay, the host name of the instance. Okay, and we're gonna see it when we actually connect to the instance. Okay, so we're going to create two EC2 instances. So both of them will have a different host name. So we'll be able to know that the load balancer is actually working accordingly, right? Okay, so let's grab the script. Okay, let's copy that. And then what I will do is to put it in the user data. Sorry, can't even pronounce that. Let's paste it here. Okay, and this is where the script is going to run from. So we are happy with it. You can do a quick scan and make sure everything that you are creating or you are providing as the parameters are what you want. Okay, scroll down. These are what you want. You're happy with that, and then you can create your learn template. Remember, this is the blueprint for the creation of your EC2. Okay, so you can view your template, okay, which is ready to be used. So let's go and create our EC2. Let me refresh this. I think I created a few one for the test. Okay, right. So ignore this termination one. We're going to create EC2 from, not from instance, so from a launch template. Okay, you have options of creating it. We're picking up from a launch template, and then the template name is dev temp, the one we just created. Okay, scroll down here. Again, you can pick, these are the configuration we have already set from the launch template. We're happy with everything here. Key pair, again, you can pick your key pair. Like I said earlier, we are not using any key pair, so let's proceed without key pair. Okay, the networking, let's leave this as default. Okay, and then our security group, remember we created the dev SG. If you want to add other security group, you can, drawing the creation of the EC2. Okay, so we're happy with the rest. You scroll all the way down, you can tag it if you want, and then the user data, if you go to the advanced, this is where it is. Okay, so you don't need to do anything on this bit. Okay, what I want is I want to create two EC2 instances from the same template, okay, to automate the creation of this EC2. So I'll add two instances for the creation, okay, and what I will do is I will launch the instance. So two of them are going to be provisioned from the template. Happy so far? Right, we can view that. Okay, go back to the instance, refresh that. Okay, and you see this pending. Okay, let's select the plus sign just to get those ones that are coming up and disregard the terminated instances. So just a matter of selecting the plus sign, and then you'll be able to see the one that are coming up. Okay, whilst this is coming up or in pending mode, okay, remember our main aim is to create a load balancer. For a load balancer to work, okay, it needs to have what we call a target. What is the target? The target are the logical grouping of instance, an IP address, lambdas, and so on and so forth. Okay, but in our situation, we are going to use EC2 instance. So our target group for our load balancer is EC2. Again, load balancer, okay, will accept incoming traffic from your client or your users and distribute the traffic to the load, okay, or to your target group. Okay, so load balancer accept traffic, distribute the traffic to your target group. Remember, your target group will be your logical grouping of your AWS instances or IP addresses or lambdas or another load balancers. Okay, so when this traffic are pushed to the target group, any instance that are available that is healthy, okay, will receive the traffic. So the load balancer will do the check and send the traffic to the healthy and available instance. So load balancer will help in the scalability, okay, availability and redundancy purposes. Okay, for your client or your users to have a smooth, okay, like connecting to your instance. If you don't have a load balancer, okay, your client can connect straight to your instance, okay, and if the instance goes down, they will not have, that reliability or redundancy in place. To that end, the load balancer is key in ensuring your customer get the best out of your company, having availability, scalability and redundancy at all time, right? Okay, so we will create a target group. Okay, let's try and refresh that, cancel that, have our instance running. Let's have a look these ones. Okay, we will create the target group. Okay, but before I create a target group, let me show you what is happening at the background. Okay, the installation that we did. Okay, let's pick this one up. I will pick the public IP. Okay, or even that will work. So pick the public IP, open a new tab, paste it in the search engine, and then here we go. So this is one instance. Look at the last IP. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the other one, the other instance. Okay, that's the second one. Okay, that one. So the IP is 241. Yeah, pick that one up. I'm here, put in here. Yeah, refresh that. Okay, 46. So 71, 76. Okay, so these are different. Okay, two different instances, right? Okay, this is what the load balancer will do. You see what I'm doing? Okay, so load balancer will be, pointing to any of them depending on their health and availability. Yeah. Okay, so what we will do, let's cancel that. We will create a target group. What is the target group? It's a group of the instance, okay, or an IP. So before we create load balancer, we create a target group. Okay, let me quickly show you on here. So this is what is going to happen. So your client coming from the internet will hit your load balancer. Load balancer will point, the connection to the target group. The target group will contain the instances, okay, which are the target, right? Okay, depending on which one is available and healthy, it will receive the traffic, right? Remember, all of them are running on this same application. Okay, so let's go back to where we were. We'll create target group, okay, so that the load balancer will point traffic to it. So create target group, okay. Again, is the grouping of instance, IP address, lambdas, or another application. For our case, we are using AWS EC2 instance, so we pick that one up. We give it a name. Let's say dev hyphen TG or target group. Yeah, right. Protocol is HTTP. HTTP listens on the port 80. Okay, so that is good. We're not doing anything to that. Okay, what we are interested in, okay, another IP version 4. Okay, this is IP version 4. That's what we are using. The VPC, the default, no problem. Leave everything the way it is. The health check is gonna do it on HTTP on the root, okay, on the root path, right? Again, advanced health check. So is going to do a health check on the port that we have chosen, which is port 80. Okay, if you want to override your port, you can give any port. Okay, but we are picking the port that we are using for our target group. Okay, so port 80 is fine. The health threshold, okay, this is the number of times the load balancer will ensure that the target is healthy. So if you put 5, it will check the target is healthy 5 times before it consider it as healthy. If that is too much for you, you can reduce it to 3 or 4 or 1. Okay, let's put it 2. Okay, that's fine. Unhealthy, again, is going to check how many times it will report an unhealthy target, and then it will classify it as unhealthy instance. Okay, again, if you want to set to your use case the number of threshold you want your load balancer to check, you can pick it up. Let's leave it to 2. The number of time you want to check it, 5 seconds, is okay if you want to leave it, or you can change it to your use case. The interval, every 30 seconds it can do a health check and report back to you everything is good, right? Success code is 200, right? Okay, so that is it for our target group. If we are happy, we're going to go next. Yeah, next on the target group, and you see straight away our target is our EC2. Therefore, we are going to add it as a pending. Okay, so we select all of them as our target. Okay, we are going to register them, put them in a group, in a logical grouping, so load balancer can point to this and then hit and make sure these things are healthy at all time. Once you're done, the port we know is port 80, because the application that we have installed on this machine are listening on port 80. Okay, so whilst we are picking that and we are happy, we can add as pending below, right? So 2 of them has been added and we create our target group, right? So target group is created. We got 2 instances running. For now, nothing has been recorded yet because the target is unused. It's not being used. So who is going to use it? Guess what? Is the load balancer, right? The load balancer needs to use the target. Is going to point to the target. Again, going back to what I showed you earlier, this one quickly. So we've created our target group. Okay, we are now going to create our load balancer. Who uses the target and the target group? Is the load balancer. So for now, it's showing the target group and the target are not being used, so they are unused. We will create load balancer, and then it will do a health check on the target with a target group, it will report healthy and we are good. We will be cooking on the gas. Yeah, no dramas. Right, let's minimize that, come back here, and then we know our target group is good. We can create our load balancer. Yeah, create load balancer, select that. We are interested in application load balancer. Okay, it works on the layer 7, which is HTTP and HTTPS. Okay, we are working with HTTP. Okay, therefore we pick application load balancer. I will do a separate recording or video on load balancers. Okay, and I'll talk about these tools as well. There is another one called classic. Can you see? It's like it's hidden. They don't want you to use it because it's an old version. Okay, we are more modern. Okay, therefore we are leveraging on application load balancer and at layer 7, HTTP HTTPS. Right, let's move on. So this is what we are interested. We select that, we give it a name. So load balancer, let's call it dev. Everything is like dev. Yeah, dev hyphen, okay, sg, no, help, uh, lb. Yeah, load balancer is fine. Right, so this is going to be internet facing. Okay, so it's going to face the internet and collect the traffic, distribute the traffic to the target. Okay, so internet facing, we happy with that. Okay, IP version 4, that is okay. Network VPC, that's fine. Right here we are going to make it more available, more redundant, okay, more scalable. So we're going to distribute it in the various location in the data center. So location 1, location 2, location 3. If one goes down, we got the 2. If 2 goes down, we got 1. So you are making it more redundant. So you distribute your load balancer across availability zones. Okay, happy days. Let's move on. What we need to do is to create security group for our load balancer, right? So we can pick one if already exists, or you create one for yourself. Let's quickly create one for ourselves, right? So let's call it from the top. So LB, so load balancer hyphen SG, sorry, SG. Yeah, again, you can describe it. It's the load balancer security group. We can copy that. We all know. Yeah. Paste it here. Leave everything the way it is. Inbound rule. So what traffic, what port is coming? What port do you want the load balancer to listen on? Okay. So we say, right, you can listen on a port, which is HTTP. Okay. For now, we will do a separate video for HTTPS and then we add certificate ACM to this. Yeah, but for now, we're just gonna route this one HTTP, listen on a port 80. Okay, source, where is it coming from? Okay, who is going to send this, request to this load balancer? We will say from anywhere. It's public facing. It's our website, for example. We want the public to be able to reach to this. It's internal. If it is internal, okay, you can select custom and give your IP range. Okay, if you just want yourself to access it, you can say only my IP. We are using IP version 4, so we pick IP version 4. We are not using IP version 6 for now. Okay, so we will say we want IP version 4 anywhere. So 0000, it means any traffic, anybody can hit our site, right? We can definitely add another rule and let's say HTTPS, and then we will redirect. Okay, that's a different topic. I don't want to add extra layer. So let's concentrate on this for now because we want to know how load balancer works. Yeah, happy days. So the incoming is fine. Listen on that port 80. We move down. I think we are good. So this is the security group for the load balancer. Create it, yeah. Once that is created, okay, we can go back to where we were. we're going to refresh that and look for our LBSG. That's the one. Happy days. Pick that one up. Scroll down. This is the port it's listening on, the load balancer. I listen on this port 80. If the request comes in, okay, load balancer is going to forward the traffic, okay, or the incoming request, okay, to target group. So you can select your target group, or you can say redirect, okay, to a different URL or a different, let's say HTTPS, okay, or you can do what we call the return of a fixed response, and you put your response there, okay, say like that, okay, you can put your fixed response there, or you can redirect to another URL, or you forward, okay, we are going to forward to a target group, the one we created, we select that, okay, and we are going to wait, as you know, one which is like 100%, all the traffic needs to go to this target group. If you have a different target group, you can split them, okay, say 50% goes on this target group, you can add another target group and say another 50% can go to that target group. You spread the load, right? Okay, again, target thickness. So you can say, oh, this client coming to your instance, let the load balancer stick to this target group. You can do stickiness, okay, by selecting that. We're not doing that, okay. I will do a separate video about CloudFront, WAF, and then also what we call Global Accelerator. So this also work alongside load balancers, but let's skip that, okay. And the rest, I think we are happy so far, okay. Let's go create load balancer, okay. This can take about 2 to 3 minutes, so I will pause, okay. I'll pause this recording and then come back to this, okay. I will see you in 2 minutes. Thank you. Hello, welcome back. Yeah, let's continue. Now the load balancer has been successfully provisioned and is active, okay. So what we will do is, right, we can check the target group and make sure it's happy as well, okay. So we know we got our listeners here, okay, and the listener. So let me move this a little bit up so you can see. Yeah, that's better. So the listener, okay, we have the protocol, and the port protocol is HTTP port 80, and it's going to listen on that. Load balancer is listening on this, okay. Once that is taken in, or the traffic or the request is received, okay, it's going to point it to the target group, which we call it the dev target group, okay. We got the rules in here, so let's have a look at it. We can either click on that or go back to the target group here, okay, to have a look. So our target group, as you can see, let's make it this a bit bigger. Can you see initially we had it as 2, and now we have 2 as healthy instance, okay, and here was unused, so there's nothing, is 0. We had 2 as unused, so now we have healthy instances, okay, running or listening on this port. So all is good now. So load balancer will do the health check and then show this as healthy, right? So what we will do, go back to the load balancer, and we are going to pick what we call the DNS name, okay. So similar to what I did by copying the IP address of the instance, okay, this load balancer is going to point to this target group. Any of them, I'll keep double clicking, and then you can see the load balancer will point to the target depending on which one is available at that point. When I send the request, you will see different host name. Yeah. So minimize that. So pick that and then come here, paste it here, enter. Okay. Watch that changing here. Keep your eyes on that. You see that? It's changing. Okay. This is the load balancer at work. Okay, what you can see here is saying not secure. Why? Because this is HTTP. Okay, it's not secure. HTTPS, hypertext transfer protocol secure. That HTTPS, that will make it secure. For this one, it's test purposes, so it's saying not secure. When we add ACM or certificate to this, okay, we'll be able to, make it secure. Okay, so our next video we will do that. Okay, but for this one, the load balancer is working. Happy days. Can you see this name? That is the DNS name of the load balancer. Okay, it's not friendly enough. If you want to have what we call a friendly, human readable name. Okay, I'm not saying this is not human readable, but you got some numbers in it. It's not like friendly. You can create, okay, what we call C name or a record in Route 53. What is Route 53? Think about it. It's like a phone book that contains a list of like IP address, or a phone book that contains a list of phone numbers. Basically, the IP address are the IP address considered as the phone numbers. So the DNS is going to resolve the friendly name to an IP address, basically. Okay, so we can put, okay, our DNS name of the load balancer into Route 53 to what we call a C name. Okay, so the C name, okay, or an alias is going to map this the load balancer DNS name, okay, to the name we are going to give it to it. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, so let's go to Route 53. Okay, open that one up. It's a bit slow, right? If you don't have one and you want to create one for yourself, okay, if you come in here, can you see you can register a domain? I've got a domain already. Okay, I'll show you my domain, but you can pick any domain. But this is not free. You can pay for it yearly. I pay like $15 for a year to get domain name to myself for your learning purposes. Please spend a few, pounds or dollars wherever you are, just to make your learning nice and easy for yourself. So let's pick some name, and you see, let me call oboba.com, something like that. Yeah, you can check if it's available, okay, and how much you want to pay for it. This is for those who want to do it, okay, so you can pay for it. So that is oboba.net. If you're interested, 17 for a year. Yeah, you can pick it, proceed, and pay. Right, I've got mine already. Okay, so let me go back to Route 53. So this is the one I have, my registered domain. If I go into my registered domain, okay, this is, I don't want to show too much on this bit. Okay, but let me go to the domain, okay, which is the domain I showed you. Okay, that's how the name will be, or this is where the registered domain will populate. Okay, and let's go to the hosted zone. This is where all the record will be held, right? Okay, so holding the record here, okay, I can go to my public, put it here. It's taking a while, and these are my records. So what I want to do is to create a record, okay, and then let me give it like the dev at the end, okay, as the subdomain. So dev, I can do a record, but this one pointing what we called a domain to a load balancer. You can use CNAME or an alias. Yeah, you can use CNAME or alias. Okay, so let's pick a CNAME or alias. Actually, let's pick alias. What is it? So it's going to route the traffic from where? This is load balancer. Where is application? Here you go. Alias of it. Which region did we create this load balancer? I think it's EU. I think, is it London? Let's check it. If it's there, we'll see it. No, I think it's Ireland. Let's go to Ireland. See if it's our load balancer. Is there? This is it. Okay. Pick your load balancer. Okay. And all you need to do is to add or create a record. Okay, the record has been added. Where is it? This one. Okay, if I select that, can you see this is the name I gave it to? This is my my domain name, and then I added a bit of the subdomain onto that. And it's a record. This is alias record. That record is going to point to this value, which is the load balancer DNS name. So for now, if I pick the load balancer, the record name, okay, watch this again, similar to this was the load balancer, as you can see. But now, can you see I've got more friendly name by leveraging on the alias on the Route 53. Okay, so that is it. Okay, so all we've touched on, we've leveraged on services and resources like launch template, okay, EC2 instance, target group, load balancer, and Route 53. Okay, all these things are connecting together, making sure that our system are highly available, they are secure, they are available at all time, they are redundant, and then again, we are making sure that we do practice this on our own. Please get your hands on it. Don't just watch the video. What I would say is happy learning. Keep subscribing. Put it in the comment if you would like to recommend any video you want me to do. Please let me know, and I'm happy to do that. Please subscribe, share it to your friends, and I will speak to you in our next video. Happy learning. Bye bye.